You are listening to POCC Block Report Radio or www.blockreportradio.com. Right now, we got a special with M1 of the Prisoners of Conscience Committee and also known for his work with Dead Prez, interviewing political prisoner Mumia Abu Jamal.
This is M1, the People's Advocate, one half of Dead Prez and the Minister of Culture of the Prisoners of Conscience Committee, signing in for the Block Report Radio. And man, I'm proud to be here. I'm honored to be on the phone today with Mumia Abu Jamal, the voice of our people and the voice of inside our struggle behind enemy lines. I got a few questions today. I can't wait. I'm honored to be talking to you right here today. How you feeling?
Good, brother. The honor is also mine. I know of you, not musically, but politically, and that's good enough for me.
Good. I want to jump right in. A partner of mine, Rosa Clemente, and we often talk about the concept of media justice. And you, as the voice of our people's resistance, what information do you feel is the most pertinent in these days of distraction, i.e. Republican versus Democrat, war on terrorism, etc.? What's the most important thing that we need to know?
The most important thing that we need to know right now is it doesn't matter who gets elected, honestly. I know people heard that years ago when Ralph Nader was running. But I mean in the grand scheme of things, because what we're talking about are differences of degree. We're talking about two imperial presidents. You know, one will be a pretty brown face, a pretty brown young face even. One will be a less pretty, old white face. But essentially what they're talking about is imperialism. So what people need to understand and really get is that they should demand through
This call is from the State Correctional Institution at Green and is subject to monitoring and recording.
They should demand through their activity in the streets and everywhere else what kind of system they want and what they oppose. I mean, if they feel that everything is hunky-dory if you get a black president, then they'll be just like the people in Philadelphia who believed that everything was great when there was a black mayor. It really doesn't matter what color someone is. It matters what their mind is like, what they're thinking about, if they're in support of empire or really a supporter of democracy. If you think about this war that we're in the middle of, in order for this war to happen, the government had to ignore not just millions of people in the United States, but millions of people, tens of millions of people all around the world, in some of the biggest demonstrations in the history of the world. So, you know, we're talking about an anti-democratic system, and that can only be changed, not by that system, but by the people.
Good. Well, going forward, I'd like to say that yesterday we celebrated African Liberation Day, and that's in the memory or in remembrance of Kwame Ture. And remembering also that Malcolm X, during his birthday, which just passed, we see the importance of great organizers who were able to galvanize the best that our people can give to our struggle and to our movement. And also we see the importance of organization. What is your vision of the organization that will defeat imperialism worldwide?
Well, it has to be a global organization. By that I mean the new name in the 21st century of imperialism is really globalization. And when you think about that, when you read about that, when you study about that, globalization really means the globalization of capital. You don't hear people talking about the globalization of labor. But you know, working people all around the world have more in common with each other than they have with their own so-called leaders or the rulers, the ruling class, that is, of those societies. So people should globalize resistance, globalize, and that means, you know, people talking across cultures, learning other languages. Is easier now in the age of the internet than it was 30 years ago.
Right.
But it's still necessary, you see, because we need to break through these illusions that the media puts in people's heads. I mean, there are millions of people, okay, who hate people who they have never met. If you mention the name of the president of Venezuela or the president of Iran, people will base their hatred based on some stuff they've heard on the news. And more likely than not, it was erroneous, exaggeration, or just straight up lies. Why should people hate someone that they don't know based on misinformation? You can only do that if you understand the